If you've ever used a public electric vehicle charger, you've interacted with this invisible force that you've probably never even heard of. It's the hidden language that makes the whole system just work. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Open Charge Point Protocol, or as you'll hear me say, OCCP.
All right, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the big problem OCPP was built to solve. Then, we'll see how it acts as a translator during a normal charge. After that, we'll check out its powerful management tools, dive into the future with smart charging, and, finally, wrap it all up with why this really matters. So let's get started with the puzzle itself.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Imagine you're on a road trip. Your EV's battery is getting low, and you need to find a public charger. Should be simple, right? Not always. It is one of the most common frustrations for EV drivers. You pull up to a perfectly good charger, but you don't have the right app or the right little key fob for that specific brand. Why is this so complicated? What's the deal here?
Well, the root of the problem is fragmentation. The EV charging world is just this jumble of different hardware companies, dozens of network operators, and all of them have their own apps and payment systems. It's like if every gas station brand needed its own special, unique nozzle for your car. Each network becomes its own little walled garden trying to lock you into their system. And this is the big, messy puzzle that OCPP was designed to fix.
So, if the charging world is a Tower of Babel where every piece of equipment is speaking a different language, how do you fix it? Well, you give them a universal translator. And for EV charging, that translator is OCCP.
Okay, so what is it really? Formally, OCCP is an open source protocol. The open source part just means anyone can use it, for free. And protocol is just a fancy word for a set of rules. Its whole job is to create a standard way for the physical charge point, the box you plug into, to talk with the central management system, which is basically the brain in the cloud running the network. The best way to think about it, truly, is as a universal translator. It's like having that little babblefish from the Hitchhiker's Guide for the entire EV charging ecosystem. Instead of every company creating its own private language, they all agree to speak OCPP.
And this is the magic key that breaks down those frustrating walled gardens. See, an open standard like this gives the people who run charging stations the freedom to mix and match hardware from different companies. And for us, the drivers, it means a much smoother, less annoying experience. It's all about freedom and making things work together.
So how does this universal translator actually work day to day? Let's kind of zoom in and listen to the secret conversation that's happening every single time you plug in your car.
Every single charging session follows a few basic steps. You can think of it like a digital handshake. First, you have to be authorized. Then, the charging transaction officially starts. While it's happening, the charger sends back how much energy you're using. And finally, the transaction stops. All of this is just a back and forth of specific OCCP messages.
Right when you tap your card or hit start in an app, the charger sends out what's called an authorized.rec, a request. It's basically shouting out to the central network, "Hey, I've got a user here with ID number 12345. Are they legit? Can they charge?"
And almost instantly, the network checks its database and shoots back a confirmation, or authorized.conf. If your account is all good, it replies with status accepted. And that's when the charger gets the green light, and you hear that really satisfying thunk as the plug locks into your car.
So you can really see this whole thing as a dialogue. And notice the direction of the arrows here. The charger usually kicks things off, asking, "Can this person charge?" and then saying, "The charging has officially begun." But it's a two-way street. The central network can send commands down to the charger, like remote stop. That's exactly what happens when you hit the stop button in your app. It's a constant conversation, all happening in a language they both understand, thanks to OCCP.
But here's the thing. OCPP does so much more than just start and stop a single charge. It's an incredibly powerful tool for managing thousands of chargers from a single office. Let's go behind the scenes for a second.
Think about something like a firmware update. Instead of paying a technician to drive out to every single charger, an operator can push an update to thousands of them remotely. The central system sends the command, and the charger reports back every step of the way. Okay, I've downloaded, now I'm installing. Before it reboots and checks back in, good as new. It's all automated and super efficient. And the protocol is just packed with these kinds of management tools. A tech can pull diagnostic files from a charger that's acting up without ever leaving their desk. An operator can take a station offline for scheduled maintenance with one command. They can even remotely reboot a frozen unit, which, let's be honest, is the first step in fixing any tech problem. This is what makes a huge, reliable charging network even possible.
Now, all this remote control isn't just for fixing things. It unlocks what is easily the most exciting part of OCCP, smart charging. This isn't just about getting power into your car anymore, it's about doing it intelligently.
Okay, so a dumb charger is simple. You plug it in, and it just blasts out as much power as it possibly can the whole time. But imagine thousands of cars doing that at 6 p.m., right when everyone gets home and turns on their air conditioning. That puts a huge strain on the electrical grid. Smart charging is the answer. It lets the charger adjust its speed up or down based on things like how much demand is on the grid or even the real-time price of electricity.
The way this is managed is through something called charging profiles, which are really just sets of rules. An operator can send a profile that puts a hard cap on the total power for a whole bank of chargers. Or they can set a default schedule, like, hey, go easy during the expensive daytime hours, but go full speed overnight when power is cheap. They can even send a unique one-time profile just for your car for your specific charging session.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, a network operator could send down a profile that limits a charger to just 6,000 watts, that's 6 kilowatts, during that busy afternoon peak. Then, late at night when demand is low, it can automatically ramp back up to full power. This is how OCPP helps balance the grid, save everyone money, and honestly make mass EV adoption sustainable in the long run.
All right, we've gone through a lot of the technical stuff, so let's zoom all the way out and look at the big picture. Why should you care about this one protocol? Why is it so important?
Well, because an open standard like this helps literally everyone. We, the EV drivers, get more choice and way less frustration. The folks who run the charging networks can pick the best hardware for the job, not just the one they're locked into. The utility grid gets protected from huge power spikes. And even the hardware companies benefit because they can all compete and innovate on a level playing field. It really is a win, 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 win.
So when you boil it all down, OCPP is so much more than just some technical document. It is the invisible backbone that makes a competitive, flexible, and truly intelligent global charging network possible. It's the unsung hero, working away in the background every single time you plug in.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've seen how a single, powerful, open standard, a universal language, can totally revolutionize an industry from the inside out. And it just makes you wonder, what other complex, messy, fragmented systems out there are just waiting for their own version of OCCP to come along and unlock their true potential?